What is going on, guys? Welcome to my second vlog. I know it's been a while since I've made a vlog. I'm on my way to actually sell something on Facebook Marketplace because later today I'm actually gonna use the money from Facebook Marketplace to actually buy the greatest deals of all time. I would say it's probably the best deal I'm ever gonna get. If you're wondering what I'm selling, it's actually my graphics card. I've had it for 3 years now. I happened to find a really good deal on Facebook Marketplace for a GPU that's barely been used. According to this guy, 3 to 4 hours tops. I'm getting probably a $200 to $300 discount compared to if I were to buy it new. So that's gonna happen later today. So money's moving around today. I have about 5 hours of sleep in me, so hopefully that'll get me through the day. Bam! We just did it. We just made 375 bucks off my old GPU. I think the transaction went really well. I think there was some sort of language barrier between me and the other guy. I think his English wasn't exactly the most proficient, but I think we still understood each other. For a second, I was pretty skeptical if this was the guy because he was riding his moped, and I was like, how is he gonna carry an entire GPU, because it's pretty big, back to his crib? But I guess if that's how he's gonna roll like that. So basically what happened was we met up in front of this parking lot, and then I gave him the GPU, and I made sure for him to take his time to check it out, to make sure everything was as he'd like, which he did. And then he gave me the money, I counted the money, and we were good to go our separate ways, and successful transaction of the morning. So I'm pretty happy about that. Later on, I will need to go 2 towns over to buy an entire PC with the graphics card I want. So normally this graphics card that I want is about $700 to $800 depending on where you buy it from. This guy is selling his entire PC with the graphics card in it for $550, which is a huge steal, because not only is he giving me a $700 to $800 GPU, but he's giving me the entire PC itself. So my plan is to take out the parts that I like in his PC, put it in my system, and perhaps sell the remaining parts, or probably keep them for my cousins. I know some of my cousins want a PC, and my dad and I were talking it over whether I should keep it or just sell the extra parts. I don't know, but we'll see. Big update for you guys. Haven't vlogged any footage in a while, but I did just meet up with my guy from Facebook Marketplace so I could buy his PC. I have it right here in the back. I don't know if you guys can see that right there, and I'm very excited about this because I am going to take a look at it, see what parts I can put into my system. I haven't seen all the specs. I just know there's a 9070 there with a new power supply. I'm gonna head back home, and I'll see you guys there when I disassemble the PC. All right, guys, I am back home, and I have the PC here with me, and it's gonna be a lot to do. So here's the PC that I bought from Facebook Marketplace. So right there we have a 9070 XT, which is $700 MSRP, but for the whole computer, I got it for $550. It's got Corsair fans. I'm not sure what AIO this is, but it's got DDR3 HyperX Fury RAM. I believe it's 16 gigs, so 4 sticks, so 4 gigs each. And then over here we have my system. So it doesn't have a graphics card, but it's got everything installed. Lee and Lee fans, very upgraded motherboard compared to his system. And I'm going to put the GPU in here, right in this slot right here. But what I'm troubled with is if I want to replace my power supply, because his power supply is 1,000 watts. Mine is 850. Now, I'm okay with leaving my 850 in here because apparently it's a better version, or at least like, I think it has more warranty compared to the 1,000 watt power supply that he has. The thing is, I really like the cables on the 1,000 watt power supply. If we take a look at these, they're not like ribbon cables, but they're like individual like wirings, which is nice. Look at these, you see how they're kind of braided. It's kind of hard to tell, but they're braided. See that? Braided cables. I'm not sure if I can just take the cables from the 1,000 watt power supply and just replace the cables on my machine, meaning I'd have to probably take out my power supply and put everything back in, which is going to be a pain in the ass. But honestly,
I might do it for the aesthetics. I mean, I bought this thing for $550. I might as well, you know, work towards it, right? And yeah, I mean, I'd have to dust it out and everything. What I'm gonna plan to do is I'm going to work through this PC, probably disassemble it first before actually putting anything into my machine. So insert a time lapse of me disassembling this.
Okay, so the first thing I did was try to disassemble the GPU, but for some reason, the screwdriver I had was too short to actually remove the screws from its bracket. So I had to get a longer screw, as you'll see right now, to actually take it out. But eventually I got it out of there. Then I cleaned up the GPU a little bit by blowing off any dust and just taking a look at it to see if there was anything wrong with it. So it seemed like there was some sticker residue from the previous owner. I'm not sure where this was from, but it took me a while to get this out.
So I just looked up the serial number for my graphics card, and it looks like it was bought almost a year ago, actually. Because the warranty started from July 23 of last year and expires in 2028 of September. So you know what? Not bad at all. Network interface card, except looks like one of the antennas got loose from its holder here, but I'm pretty sure it still works. HyperX Furium, 4 gigs each, DDR3. A lot of thermal paste there. It looks pretty new. Alienware AIO.
Alright, so I'm cleaning off the thermal paste off the AIO. It was actually kind of difficult for some reason, even though I think it was fresh thermal paste, because I think some of it actually overflowed onto the motherboard, which is kind of concerning. And then here I'm cleaning off and dusting off the fans of the AIO and the AIO itself. Alright, and the same thing for the CPU, just wiping off the thermal paste. It was pretty wet for the most part, so it was pretty easy to clean.
i7-3930K, pretty old CPU, but still usable.
Alright, now that everything is out of the way, everything else should be pretty easy. So here I'm just removing the case fans and just blowing them off so they can be reused again. Not too much dust on there. So here I am removing the power supply cables, and for some reason this took so long because it's just a complete mess inside the computer. And I'm not even over exaggerating, since this part of the video is literally sped up 40 times the original speed. I'm not kidding. This was actually a pain in the ass to do, but we got it.
Corsair RM1000E.
Finally, the last part is taking out the SSD, which is really easy.
Kingston 960GB SATA drive. Okay, so I've basically finished disassembling the computer. I have all the parts in front of me here. I'm not sure what to do with some of them. I don't know if I might sell them or maybe keep them. I do have some family coming in October, so I don't know if they may or may not want this. I'm not sure what to do with these parts yet. I'll hold on to them for now before I sell them. Yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Right now, I have the power supply cables from the 1000 watts power supply taken out, and I want to see if I can replace my cables with the 1000 watt power supply cables, because I do like the look of them better. So the plan is to check if the type 4 cables are compatible with my 850 watt power supply. So I need to find out by digging into my system now and seeing if that's compatible, and if it is, great. The bad news is I would have to disconnect some of the power connectors. Yeah, that's gonna be a pain. Let's get started. Okay, I just found out that the type 4 Corsair cables on the 1000E actually are the same exact cables used on the 850X. So I think I'm good to go in terms of replacing the cables. Okay, so I just took all the panels off of my PC. And I cleaned the fans out a little bit. Pretty dusty, but not too dusty. It's not actually too bad now that I look at it. I don't really have to disconnect any of the white cables because I believe that's just part of the actual case. Otherwise, all these braided cables I can completely replace, but I think I still might have to take out the power supply.
Alright, so I'm actually trying to trace where the cables go here because I don't remember where any of the cables go, and I'm figuring out that I need to remove the AIO of my PC in order to get rid of some of the cables in the back. So I'm just sorting out a bunch of the cables in the back of my PC, and things kind of go wrong at some point.
Okay, we're gonna have to compromise here a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to replace every single braided cable here from the original 850X power supply because the CPU power, I have 2 CPU powers. I only have one of the CPU cables.
After doing further research, I realized I didn't actually need 2 CPU power pins. I could just have one. The second one is used for overclocking, which I never do anyway.
So I don't think I'm going to bother trying to remove that. Also, it's really, really hard to remove, and it'd require me to remove the entire motherboard. I just don't think that's just worth it at this point. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the motherboard power to this one, which is much nicer, honestly. And I think I'm going to replace the PCIe ones as well. And then I'll put the GPU on, and then I think honestly that we'll call that a day.
Let's just say, whatever you're watching right now, I wasted my time doing every single thing here. Every single bit of this was a complete waste of time.
I'm regretting this 100%. Okay, yep, I 100% regret this, and I actually think I have to go back to my original cables because I don't have a 12 volt 2x6 on my 850. Meaning I basically did all this for nothing.
Yep, I did all this for nothing. I literally took apart my entire computer for no reason. I literally could have taken the GPU, plugged it into my computer, and went about my day.
Oh my goodness.
What you guys are witnessing is 3 hours of me putting back my computer even though I didn't have to do this. Luckily, this video sped up 60 times its original speed, so you guys don't have to watch me in pain.
Okay, GPU installed. Looks like a squid's nest down here. I'm about to power it on in my room, and we'll see if it turns on. Okay, moment of truth.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hear clicking. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's not good. I gotta fix that. Alright, finally solved the minor issue of the fan right here clicking. I think it was this one, actually. I kind of just pushed the fan back a little, and now it's pretty silent. I downloaded new drivers and installed software for the RGB. Unfortunately, this is pretty much the only RGB you're gonna get from Gigabyte. So, but I think it turned out pretty well. I was actually very surprised how quiet the GPU is. For a second, I thought there was something wrong with the fans because it wasn't running at all when I was booting up the computer and running a bunch of random tasks. But I went into the settings and there's this thing called 0 RPM, basically meaning that the fans aren't gonna spin to conserve energy and power. But I don't really like that, so I turned it off. And surprisingly, it's still really like quiet. Like I can't even hear it right now. Like that is insane. Like I've never heard my computer this quiet before. So this is like a really nice upgrade for me. Despite, you know, me taking forever to install this GPU, even though this probably could have been like a 10-20 minute like process, I think it was still worth it. I think the entire process of, you know, selling my old one and then buying this one, I think it was pretty successful. I still have parts downstairs that I can sell. And the next purchase I have in mind is an OLED monitor, so stay tuned for that one. I'll see you guys